So for layout, this is a front view, side view, top view. Typical layout, we make this view here and this view on the top. This one on the top, and this view like this. You can lay out like this, or you can lay out. You place this chair to this way. Doesn't matter. It's still okay layout, right? Okay layout. And also from top view, you can lay out like this, or sometimes lay out like this. Take a look at. Absolutely, this is a side view and a side top view. This is match, right? This one, this view match. Okay, but if you want to save time, if you make a center line here, just make people more easy to understand and also more easy to join. I make a typical here. I make a center line. See that? Okay, I make a center line. It's symmetry shape. It's symmetry. Yep. Okay. So before I work in this one, we discuss about scale. Scale, we use last class I mentioned about 1 inch per foot or 2 inch per foot. So we decided 2 inch per foot. 1 inch per foot I think is too small. 2 inch per foot better. Okay, 2 inches that's bigger, right? 2 inch. So we can consider 1 inch per foot or 2 inch. So 1 inch per foot I can use a ruler. So this is 1 inch per foot. So right now I use a 2 inch per foot. Double size from 1 inch, right? Okay, yeah. Yeah, some students said, can I use a 1.5? That yes, you can use a scale. You can use 1.5 inch per foot. So yeah, here you still can use 1.5 inch per foot. Okay, 1.5 inch per foot. Okay, so typical first step. What I'm going to do, I make this drawing. This is drawing from 111 by 17 paper. Okay, I make exactly size. I follow dimension, follow from here. So here provide us dimension. So you can see the height. Here to here, that's 18 inch. Make sure 18 inch we have to convert it to 1 foot 6 inch. 18 inch is not working, okay? And width we measure, that's 18 inch. 18 we still have to convert it to 1 foot 6 inch. 18 inch is not working, okay? And the depth which is depth here, or depth which is 22 inch. You cannot use 22 inch. You have converted to 1 foot 10 inch. 1 foot which is 12 plus 10. And the height for this chair from here to here, that's 31.5 inch. 31.5 inch. We cannot find a 31.5 inch from ruler or from scale. We have to convert it to 2 foot 7.5 inch. 2 foot, which is 2 foot, 1 foot 12 inch, double 12, which is 24. 24, which is 2 foot, then we have a 7.5 inch, right? Yeah, you have to do that. So 2 foot 7.5, for example, you can find from 1 inch per foot. So you can find it from here. 2 foot 7.5, 2 foot. You can find 7. So sometimes it's difficult to find it from 7 from here, because here divided by 10. Divided by 10. You still can find it. So this is why if I use this one, scale is more easy. If I use 1, this is divided by 12. Because for inch, that's 12 inch per foot. Okay? So you can see 3, 6, 7, You can find it from here. So if I use here, it's more easy. I can find a 7-inch. Okay, 7, 9, 10, 11. So 11, 12 inch equal foot. Okay, 12 inch equal foot. Okay, right now I find I make this is a, you can see everything align. I use ruler, so align here, floor. Okay, same size from here, sitting high. Okay, and the top, and this is front. This is 11 by 17 paper. 11 by 17 paper. Okay, I have no idea is that perfect. I make this dimension is perfect, but layout is not perfect. Take a look at. And also this is a top view. This circle which is indicated the wheel. Okay, indicated the wheel. This circle. I use this one to working. I use this one to working. Okay, and also width. Same thing width here, same size. Okay, now I finish this. I realize this seems too close, and also if this 11 by 17 paper not enough space for my perspective, so I'm going to shift this one left a little bit. Okay, I use a scissor to cut. Okay, I make a copy. This is the original. I use a copy machine. I make a copy, then I use a scissor to cut it. Okay, I make a copy. You can make a copy. You can make a copy. Take a look at it. You can make a copy. Then you can use a scissor to cut it. Eventually, this copy I'm going to move away a little bit. Okay, move away a little bit. Make sense? Okay, so I can do that. The final, you can see, I transfer to the paper. Okay, move this one. Now, I have this initial layout. Take a look at. This is another 11 by 17 paper. 11 by 17. We use 11 by 17. Okay. 11 by 17 paper. Okay, so I trim it. Take a look at. I trim it. I move this more close. I have a distance. I move away this one. So this is the final layout. 11 by 17 paper. This part eventually I'm going to add the perspective here. Okay, perspective here. Okay, this is because the final